Okay, so Rod Hawkeye's Prize, we kind of asked a lot of the $64,000 questions. Where are these waveforms emanating from? My question concerns the underlying cause and mechanism of these waveforms more than their apparent source, i.e. our sun or other celestial bodies. Well, the issue is that the light isn't the thing. The issue is that the light is the indicator of the thing. So the light is indicating a vector through which the Earth is being translated. And so since the Earth is being translated through this vector, what it actually is that is moving us is beyond our ability to perceive it. It may be necessary to sort it out metaphysically. We may not be able to construct a physical apparatus to actually interfere with this. The experiment is inside that which is being experimented on. You can't separate the experimenter and the experimental observational mechanism from the thing that it's looking for. And so there's a sort of conundrum there. And I think it has to be reasoned. I think you have to logically analyze what is going on to sort of make an inference. And an inference might be the best we can get out of it. And I'll go back to this concept that the universe may be stranger than we can know. You know, the universe may be more mysterious than we are capable as individuals or even as a species of understanding. It may be beyond our ability. I mean, in that level, what is the source? That's a good question. Is it a single source? You know, are these reflections from a single source? It could be. Where is that source? I don't know yet. You know, I can't even point at it. And so the issue is that what we're seeing is only an indicator of where it might be. Another great question from Rod, Hawkeye's Prize. Can the many worlds theory be compatible with morphogenic worldview if we were to assume that all possible other worlds do exist simultaneously as potential but are not being currently experienced because there is not a conscious observer present in the other worlds to perceive them? So in astrotometry, I'm sort of reclaiming cause and effect. And what gives us our choice, what appears to be the probability, is the movement among the multiple worlds. And so do they exist physically, or is it morphogenic is the question. Definitely. That's the one of the big questions in astrotometry. Are they physically persistent, or is that also an illusion? That's an interesting question. I'm not sure about that. I don't know the answer to that question. And so I am interested in approaches to that question, but I'm not going to say anything in astrotometry until I can point to something. Oh, because of this movement and because of this symmetry or something like that, we can say it's this or we can say it's that. I'm not gonna do that until I have an observation that I can base that conclusion on. And so, thanks for that question. That's a great question. And then your last question. In your theory, would consciousness also be materialized and rematerialized along with what we perceive to be matter? Or do you perceive that consciousness is a separate phenomenon? The answer, I think, is that it seems to be the thing that allows us to traverse the multiverse. In other words, there seems to be if you go back to your question about the source, you know, somebody has offered that the source might be within us. There might be some sort of a source that is within us that allows us to make these movements, that allows us to do these things. That's definitely a possibility. I think that's a very advanced kind of metaphysical or mystical way to approach it. But like I said, in astrotometry, as far as the science goes, I'm going to need to have some rationale, or at least some sort of observation that would indicate that that's the answer. And I think that's definitely an approach. The question of is it a separate phenomenon? I don't think it is. I don't think it's a separate phenomenon. I think it is. I think it's the same phenomenon. I think that what we perceive to be our consciousness is that movement through hypertime. And so I think that translation that we experience through the multiverse, I guess you could say, if it's persistent, you could call it a multiverse, is that consciousness. And so that's declined, that's denied by the fact that we seem to be translated anyway, whether or not we're conscious, though. And so whether or not the lights are on, we seem to be moving through it. When we're asleep, for example, we're unconscious. The world seems to move on without us just fine. And so it's not a one-to-one relationship, for sure. There's not a one-to-one relationship there. But it could be that the consciousness has something to do with participating in how the things are changing. And so that's a very interesting question. And I think that if you look at the relationship between the light and the dark that is in the heavens, if you look at the nature of the stars, there may be things that we can know and things that we can't. And so that as a three-dimensional creature, as this physical entity, there's going to be limitations to what we can know. And so that's my philosophy on it. I mean, that's my philosophy. So that kind of got off into the realm of philosophy, which there's going to be more tangible stuff that's more related to the nature of the observations of things in the cosmos and how to interpret those relationships, hopefully. And so thanks a lot for watching, and if you have more questions, post them here or send me a private message. Thanks.